So I think we've shown a pretty good pattern here of sort of making improvement, a little bit of an upward trend. I think getting closer to, playing the way we'd like to play. The challenge is get greater, as we go. So we have to continue to focus on, moving forward and improving. But we had some guys play really well tonight. Bryce played really well. Defense played really well. Corey Brooks played really well. But I think the team played really well. I think the team sort of bought into everybody trying to play to a standard, and I think this is probably the closest we've come to that so far this year. And the key to the drill is, can we continue to build on it?
We'll start over there.
Your defense has given up 2 touchdowns all season, 29 points on the year. What makes it such a tough defense to score against?
Well, we haven't given up a lot of explosive plays. We played pretty well in the red area. I think this group plays really well together as a group. The front 7 and the back end are tied together for the most part. We've got experienced players, at linebacker and in the secondary at safety, and I think that's very helpful. The one thing we haven't done is created a lot of turnovers, which is something that we keep harping on all the time. But I'll take this kind of defense without turnovers, but I'd like to see us get more turnovers and win the turnover battle in games. I think it's very significant in winning and losing.
The pass rush was especially strong tonight. Have you seen that improve here over the last couple of weeks? And apart from Will Anderson, who are a couple of the guys that are heavily counted on in that regard?
Well, 41-15. We've got some guys inside that can rush as well. I think you can't look at everything. Like, we played 2 games where the people basically tried to shrink the game. All right, so they didn't throw the ball much. And when they did throw it, the ball came out so fast you couldn't get any pass rush. So we've only played a couple teams that really do drop back pass. And it's a combination of good coverage and good rush that, helps you get sacks. And the sacks and the pressure helps the coverage. So it's kind of a team defense thing. I didn't think we had an issue with pass rush before. I just think we didn't have a lot of opportunities.
Back left, Mike.
More specifically with the defensive line, how did they fit the run tonight? And they got into the pass rush game as well. What did you see from them?
Yeah, they did a good job. They do a lot of motions, and I thought their plan early in the game was good. They had 2 tight ends and 2 wide receivers in the game because they made a lot of spread formations. We decided to play nickel. They put the big guys on the little guys on the perimeter and, move the ball that early in the game. But our guys adjusted well to it and did a good job. But I think the guys up front are doing a good job. I think we need more guys to be able to play so we can have more depth up front.
Jameer Gibbs, he's been a weapon for you guys in several games this season. With him being a transfer, what's allowed him to pick up the offense and be effective for you guys so quickly?
He's got a lot of experience. And, other than terminology, somebody calls a power play, a zone play, an inside zone, an outside zone, a counter. They may call it a different name, but it really isn't a different play. So experienced players can relate to things that they've done in the past that are similar to what we do here. And then obviously it's a terminology thing, but they understand 5-man protection, they understand 6-man protection, they understand 7-man protection. It just might be called something different. So experienced players can pick up on things much more quickly. Jameer's a really bright guy, and he's very conscientious. So it was kind of an easy transition, I think, for us, and it didn't seem to be very painless for him. And I think our players did a good job of embracing him. He's a very likable guy, so it worked out well.
Coach, it looked like Byron Young had to go to the locker room on the card. Do you have an update on him?
He's got a sprained ankle, so that's the only update I've got. So
What did you see in the offense that allowed Jermaine Burton and the rest of the receivers to get those big plays down the field?
Well, I think it was kind of our plan going into this game that we would spread these guys out more and try to attack them in the secondary. We thought we had some pretty good matchups based on, how they played and what they've done. And I think the big credit in a lot of this, because they do have a really good pressure package, and the offensive line did a good job, and Bryce did a good job of handling that so we could pick up the pressures, and we didn't get, a lot of pressure that really affected how we could throw the ball down the field. So I thought it was a combination of both those things. But receivers played really well in the game. I don't think we really had a lot of drops. We were more precise, and there was more precision in the route running, which helps with the timing of the quarterback. And, I thought Bryce, did a really nice job as well.
Coach, it seems like we're talking about Will Anderson every week, but could you just talk about his game tonight and just him getting in the back?
Well, Will's a good player. You should be talking about him every week. He makes a lot of plays. He makes sacks, plays hard, prepares well. He's a great leader on the team. I'd talk about him for as long as you want to talk about him. But the guy, he played that way last year. He plays that way this year. It's important to him. He has passion for the game. He understands the game. He's got power. He's got speed. He's got initial quickness. Turn speed to power and pass rush. A lot of people try to chip him, and we're trying to move him around, so it's harder for him to do that. Pete's done a good job of designing a lot of things that have been helpful to our guys being able to get pressure up front, so we're not just straight rushing where they can chip us all the time.
Is what Ja'Cory Brooks did tonight kind of the ideal performance you'd want from him?
We have high expectations for what our guys can do, and Ja'Cory certainly didn't disappoint tonight. He had a great start to the game and finished the game and did a really, really good job. He made some great catches, and but again, it's not. I know I sound like a broken record here, but I can't tell you who's going to have a good game. It depends on the coverage. So you read the coverage, and that's where you throw the ball relative to where the coverage is. And you might have a middle of the field beater on this side, and you might have a split safety beater on this side. But I can't tell which guy's going to get the ball. And Bryce doesn't know who's going to get the ball either sometimes until after he reads the coverage. So Ja'Cory had a lot of opportunities tonight, and he took advantage of it, and we were very pleased with the way he played.
Another guy we've been talking about a lot is Henry Toto. Leads the team in tackles again. What have you been seeing out of him, and how does he fit that middle linebacker spot?
Well, Henry's a perfect fit for the position. He's very instinctive. He's a great communicator. He's a signal caller. I think he makes everybody around him play better. And because he's very instinctive, he understands, he's very football savvy, understands exactly how he's supposed to fit on the runs, and ends up in the right place. And we try to play team defense, and the linebackers should make a lot of tackles, and he certainly hasn't disappointed in any way, and he's played very well for us.
Coach, the first half you had 29 passing attempts to 8 rushing attempts. How do you feel about the offensive balance and just where the offense is as a whole?
I feel like we take what the defense gives. So we don't just call running plays. A lot of the plays that ended up being passes were called runs. All right, so I'm more concerned about how we move the ball, because we're going to take what the defense gives. So if they're playing to stop the run, we're going to throw. If they're playing split safeties and playing soft, then we got to be able to run it. So it's not a matter of what the stat sheet says. It's a matter of, and a lot of our plays are packaged. So I can't predict how many times we're going to run it and how many times we're going to pass it. But if we move the ball like we did in the first half, I'm really happy if that's the kind of balance we need to have. All right, thanks.